Hi, Evan Pantazi. What I've been doing lately is really getting into the Bubishi as I'm writing a living Bubishi and going over details and making sure that I'm getting everything correct. And what I'm noticing is that the further I study the Bubishi, the further it takes me away from nerve attacks. Pressure points, forget about it. It's not even related to what I see in the Bubishi. It's more attuned to the blood attacks and the organ attacks of the human body. And it's really a deep study, and it's really profound in what they've got. I mean, even the drawings, like I did a video here on YouTube, and I'll try to find it and link it below, is where I asked the question, what's the difference between these two pictures in the Bubishi? And it was two postures that were in there of the individual doing a form. The two pictures were both of the back, and they were in slightly different postures, like a cat stance or a crane stance or something of that nature. However, the two drawings were done differently. And there's a visual. Now this happens quite a bit in the pictures of the person doing the form. And some of the pictures of the back of the human are drawn a certain way. Other pictures are drawn a different way with a very distinctive difference. Now these drawings indicate that the person drawing it is not just drawing a person doing a figure. All right, what they're doing is they're depicting what that technique would do to the individual that received it, I imagine, or how it spurs on their own anatomy or physiology in the health and wellness aspect of it as well. Now, we've come to this conclusion that this manifestation occurs during advanced knockouts. And yes, they were neurological, but we're also seeing them happen with the vascular knockouts as well. And it's having a profound effect on the individual. And as such, more advanced revival methods are needed to be employed. So again, it's taking me further and further away from the nerve attacks as I study this book. And whether they understood the principles of nerve attack, and I'm pretty sure they must have, but they knew on the battlefield when they stuck a sword into a particular organ or sliced a particular vein or artery, how soon the person would die. And that might be a little bit akin to the timing references in the Bubishi. All right, but also they had to make sure that they understood this, because if you had a fallen soldier, you would want to understand, okay, is it possible for this person to survive? If you're lacerated in the carotid, back then there was no survival, so they did nothing, okay? They might have tried to make you comfortable, but they probably just marched on, or put you to a quicker death so you could, they could get about their business. The possibility, though, that if it was a more superficial wound, and they knew that if you were lacerated in this an arm artery, for example, that it is survivable. They just had to take care of it a certain way, and before this amount of time before the person bled to death. So I know this is a grisly subject, but it's part of the Bubishi. It was a military manual, okay? And it was for soldiers on the battlefield. For example, the herbs that are in there as well. Now you got to imagine you're out there marching around. You don't have modern day drugs. You don't have like morphine for a fallen soldier, so you know their passing could be a little bit more pleasant for them, and the pain wasn't as great. There was nothing like that except for the herbs that were around in that particular area. And the reason why they're added in the Bubishi is like a document to the soldiers. Okay, look for this herb, look for this herb for this problem, for that problem, like maybe dysentery. You're in foreign lands, you're susceptible to foreign bacteria that your body's not used to. So dysentery would be one of the problems. You might have dehydration, you might have muscle cramping because of dehydration or because of fatigue or whatever the case may be. These herbs were depicted in there for military use on the battlefield, and how to recognize them, and once you recognize them, how to adapt them to you. So again, this whole Bubishi takes you off on a very amazing journey. Yes, there's a little bit of Kwanfa in there, or karate as you would, because you had to know the hand-to-hand combatives as well. And it wasn't as sophisticated a hand-to-hand as it was understanding the weaknesses of the human body in those particular articles. And along the way, other people added some information about the etiquettes and the practice of the Kwanfa. But again, going back to the targeting, the vital point targeting that's in that Bubishi, it's very serious and very real, and we've been able to make it come to life, and we've been able to take these shichen and apply them and get them to work and have the manifestations I was talking about. We haven't correlated it back to the herbology because some of these herbs are ancient herbs, some of them are only indigenous to China. Going into Chinatown to find them might be a possibility. Some are just ancient and not available anymore. So we really haven't spent an awful lot of time with that. We did have, I did have one personal student a long time ago that was an emergency room nurse. And he had come up with a lot of herbs and tinctures and medications from herbals. And that was just his hobby, his fascination. And he developed it so well, and we used them a couple of times, and very successfully too, I might add. I've since lost contact with him. I've tried to email him a couple of times, and about a year ago, I never got any answer. I saw his son's profile on Facebook, went that route, and the connection's just not making it. So we lost that connection. I'm still trying to get back to it, so be patient. If it does come of anything, we'll get back on YouTube and let you know about it. So I wanted to just let you know that the more I'm studying this Bubishi in correlation with writing the book, that the further away it is from the nerve attacks. And again, it is not the pressure points. All right, it's the real structures of the human anatomy, the vascular tissues, the nerve tissues, the organ tissues. That's real Kyusho. That's what's in the Bubishi. Thanks for watching.